A St. Petersburg woman who's accused of killing her 4-year-old son faced a judge today. Good evening, everyone. I'm Josh Benson.
I'm Jennifer Lee. Thank you for joining us. We are learning more about the 43-year-old mother who police say suffocated her son and then stabbed herself. The woman's 16-year-old daughter made the grim discovery when she came home from school yesterday on Tanglewood Drive Northeast. News Channel 8's Georgia MacArthur joins us live from the neighborhood. Georgia, what's the latest today?
Well, yeah, Jen and Josh, we are learning that the mother, she is the wife of a local dentist here in St. Pete. We're also learning that this home was just put up for sale just a couple days ago before this horrific incident. Now, St. Pete police are still here on scene at this home, just trying to figure out how a mother could do this. This is a quiet Shore Acres neighborhood where homes sell for more than $1 million. And what police say happened here has left neighbors and investigators stunned.
I cannot imagine something like that to happen to little ones, to anyone. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. I'm just shocked.
Inside the courtroom, Diana Cullum stood before a judge in an orange jumpsuit with visible stab wounds marking her arms as she was formally charged in the death of her 4-year-old son, Finley. Her husband, a dentist at Crescent Lake Family Dentistry in St. Pete, watched silently and at one point covering his mouth as the charges were read.
So, ma'am, you have attorneys that are present here for you. So I have reviewed this statement. I'm going to find that probable cause does exist for her detention.
Police say it all began Tuesday afternoon when officers responded to a call about a person bleeding at this home on Tanglewood Drive. Investigators say the teenage daughter had just came home from school and found her mother holding her 4-year-old brother in bed. The mother was taken to the hospital with multiple lacerations, which investigators later determined were self-inflicted. An autopsy revealed Cullum suffocated her son.
At this time, bond's going to remain set at no bond. State, were you asking for any conditions on bond?
The condition is we would be asking for no contact with the 16-year-old daughter.
Now, police have not revealed a motive, but did say the mother left a note, but did not reveal the details of that note. Reporting live in St. Pete, I'm Georgia MacArthur, 8 on your side.
The case of Terry Schiavo captured the nation as it played out right here in the Bay Area. Back in 1990, a heart attack left the 26-year-old woman in what doctors described as a persistent vegetative state. Legal battles between her husband and her parents followed over whether Schiavo should live with a feeding tube or be allowed to die. She passed away at Pinellas Park Hospice in 2005 after that tube was removed. Well, the case of Terry Schiavo gained the attention of the president, the Pope, and much of the world in the early 2000s. And now Terry's mother is seeking to unseal health records related to the case. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson reports that Terry's husband still wants the records sealed to protect her dignity.
Terry Schiavo has been dead for more than 20 years, but despite that passage of time, today her family asked an appeals court to unseal the health care records related to her end-of-life care.
This case has been through nearly every rung of the state and federal court system.
Today, in front of the 2nd District Court of Appeals, an attorney for Terry Schiavo's mother and others asked the court to release her health care records.
What we're identifying is the guardian reports and the medical records that could show how Terry was treated, how her care was being provided.
But the court wants to know why.
Why this passage of time to unseal these documents all of a sudden now?
I think the passage of time actually helps us, Your Honor.
While the attorney asking for the records to be released says privacy issues should no longer be a concern because Terry Schiavo is dead. The attorney for Schiavo's husband says those records should never be released, and they are sealed by law.
The guardianship files, medical files, psychological files, her brain scans, everything, that's all confidential by legislative action. The legislature has never put an expiration date on those records.
A decision in the case is expected in the next 90 days. In St. Petersburg, Jeff Patterson, 8 on your side.
Caught on camera, a child abused on a school bus. It's hard to watch, and tonight a Hillsborough County bus aide and bus driver are accused of it. One of them is accused of abusing the child with autism, while the other one laughed. News Channel 8's George MacArthur is live at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office with what led to the investigation. Yeah, how were they tipped off?
Yeah, Stacy. Well, deputies say teachers automatically noticed a change in the child's behavior when it was time to go home and get on the school bus. That's what prompted deputies to take a look at the cameras on the school bus, and they say what they saw was disturbing. This video is hard for any parent to watch. A defenseless child being hit over and over by someone entrusted with their care, while another adult not only watched but laughed.
And only fueled his fear after listening to him scream in pain by threatening him with further violence.
The investigation began back in November after a witness reported the abuse. Detectives reviewed video footage from on the school bus. They say 79-year-old Juanita Wright repeatedly abused the victim, and while the driver, Tanya Rice Constant, did nothing to stop it.
Unfortunately, the system only captures 30 days. I'm confident that this abuse carried on well before the 30 days.
Deputies say the abuse happened at least 14 different times, and when questioned about the abuse,
the bus driver said it was just jokeful, playful behavior between her and the bus aide and the child.
Hillsborough County Schools released this statement, in part, quote, the bus attendant who was hired in 2012 was removed from duty back in November as soon as we were made aware of the allegations. Her employment has been terminated. The driver retired from the district in November when the investigation began. And the bus aide was arrested on 14 counts of child abuse, and the driver, she was arrested for failure to report it. Reporting live in Ybor City, I'm Georgia MacArthur, 8 on your side.
Guilty. That's the verdict for a former Manatee County deputy on trial in Hillsborough County for abusing his own dog. News Channel 8's Eden Hodges joins us now live from the courthouse in Tampa with these late-breaking details. Eden.
Hey, Jen. Yeah, the jury was shown video from the defendant's own backdoor camera. The prosecution saying that video proved that that former deputy was violent with his own puppy. State prosecutors say a former Manatee County deputy, Daniel Kajawa, beat his own dog to the point that it had broken ribs and a damaged heart and lungs.
Members of the jury, you only have to believe your eyes and your ears and the evidence.
The former deputy's now ex-girlfriend says she found concerning behavior on their back doorbell camera dating back months.
Miss Long, why didn't you call the police on December the 9th?
I was afraid of what Dan would do.
She waited until he was out of town to file a report. The defense argues that the actions seen in the videos are part of disciplining the new puppy, and that Kajawa wouldn't have been around for the abuse considering he was also working overtime as a deputy dealing with the fallout from the hurricanes in the fall of 2024.
This has nothing to do with Mr. Kajawa injuring these dogs. This is Miss Long's chance to get at Mr. Kajawa for breaking up with her.
The prosecution claims that Kajawa lost his temper with the dog and punched it repeatedly in its body, causing the injuries that the veterinarian found. They say the injuries they found were in multiple different stages of healing, saying that the abuse was intentional and ongoing.
Hold him responsible for the decisions he made and the actions he took and the injuries that he caused to an animal who sat there and took it.
The jury found him guilty on aggravated animal abuse charges. He was sentenced to 270 days in jail with a 36-month, probation and a $2,500 fine. On top of that, he will no longer be allowed to own a pet, and he'll have to register in the pet abuse registry. In Tampa, I'm Eden Hodges, 8 on your side.
And dozens of Sarasota County drivers say they are running into unexpected car troubles after a mix-up at a local gas station had them pumping diesel fuel into their tanks. Ooh, that's no bueno. It happened at the Circle K on Laurel Road in Nokomis, just off Interstate 75. News Channel 8's Allison Henning joins us with details.
Drivers who filled up here late last week tell us they didn't make it very far before their cars started acting up. Cars are coming into this Venice repair shop one after another.
On Friday, we had to drop 5 fuel tanks, and then today we had another 5.
Owner Brian Dacey says all but one of them came in on a tow truck, and it turns out they all have one thing in common: diesel fuel in their gas tanks.
The newer vehicles struggle more. We actually have to drain the tanks, take the tank out, flush it, take the lines loose, flush all the lines out. It's a large job.
a large job that can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. All of the drivers filled up at this Circle K gas station on Laurel Road in Nokomis late last week. Tyler Balcom says his truck started acting up as soon as he pulled away from the pump.
Immediately afterwards, I suspected that maybe I got some bad gas because I'd never experienced anything like this before, and my truck's always been running fine.
He posted what happened on social media, only to find out dozens of others were dealing with similar car troubles. So he contacted us, hoping to spread the word.
I wanted to make sure that if there were other people who were affected, that they knew it wasn't just them. It wasn't a one-off with their vehicle. You know, this is something that's going to end up costing individuals thousands of dollars.
In a statement to News Channel 8, Circle K confirmed diesel fuel was inadvertently delivered into a gas storage tank. We're told they immediately shut down the pumps and then on Saturday emptied, cleaned, and replenished the tanks. They're asking anybody whose vehicles were impacted to contact their customer service line for any reimbursements tied to repairs. For now, reporting in Sarasota County, Allison Henning, 8 on your side.
The Florida Department of Health is reporting cases of measles in the Bay Area, one case in Hillsborough and another in Manatee County. And tonight, doctors are speaking out, warning the community of how easily this disease can spread. News Channel 8's Marilyn Parker live in Tampa for us tonight. So, Marilyn, do we know exactly when these cases were reported?
Well, according to the Florida Health Chart's website, they say it came down between the 1st and 17th of this month. I spoke with a pediatrician who says her office found out about it just last week. They are taking precautions and they encourage you to do the same.
Were you surprised by this at all? Unfortunately, no.
Dr. Lisa Rush says it was only a matter of time before measles cases would be reported in our area.
The most scary thing to me is the underreporting. We found out about this last week, and now we're just kind of hearing in the community about it this week.
The Florida Department of Health told 8 on Your Side they had no comment regarding the 2 reported cases of measles in Hillsborough and Manatee County. According to FloridaHealthCharts.gov, the Hillsborough case was acquired in Florida. The Manatee case was from outside the U.S. The cases were reported sometime between January 1st and the 17th, and both patients are between 20 and 24 years old.
Are children impacted differently from adults when it comes to measles?
The real difference is that more adults are vaccinated.
Dr. Michael Tang says with lower vaccination rates comes higher chances for the disease to spread, potentially harming vulnerable populations.
You will have outbreaks like we've seen last year in Texas, right now in South Carolina. I think there's something like 300 cases in South Carolina right now.
Dr. Tang says there was maybe 10 cases in Florida last year. Dr. Rush says you need 95% of the community vaccinated for herd immunity and says Hillsborough County sits in the 80s. Even though the case report may be small now, doctors say don't overlook the severity of this disease.
One infected measles individual will spread to about 12 to 18 individuals that are unvaccinated. Measles is one of the most highly contagious diseases that we have.
Now, you may remember in December, the state rolled back on some of the childhood vaccine vaccine shots that are required. However, measles was not one of them. Doctors recommend that you consult with your doctors on what's best for you and your family. Live in Tampa tonight, Marilyn Parker, 8 on Your Side.
Ron DeSantis and Florida Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo announced the findings of a food safety study today, and it looks at candy. They say the study shows some of the most popular candy sold in America has unacceptable levels of arsenic. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson joins us live tonight in the Tampa newsroom, and these are popular brands we're hearing, Jeff.
Josh, from Nerds to Jolly Ranchers and Skittles, the Florida Department of Health said they found high levels of arsenic in some candies. A spokesperson for the National Confectioners Association is pushing back, questioning who set the levels in this test. The study by the Florida Department of Health took a look at some of the most popular candy sold in stores, and First Lady Casey DeSantis called the study results disturbing.
Concern here is not necessarily about one single piece of candy on one single day. The concern is when these products are consumed, as they realistically are, repeatedly over time.
DeSantis says the study tested 46 different candies from 10 different companies.
26 of the 33 traditional candy brands tested, arsenic was detected at elevated levels.
But a spokesperson for the National Confectioners Association questioned the study, saying chocolate and candy are safe to eat and can be enjoyed as treats as they have been for centuries. The recent announcement from the state of Florida is misguided and demonstrates a glaring lack of transparency related to data-driven scientific safety thresholds and the evaluation of confectionery products. Casey DeSantis maintains arsenic can be harmful, especially to children.
Arsenic is a known toxic element. Long-term exposure, particularly during childhood, has been linked to developmental impacts, effects on the immune system.
The First Lady did point out the candy tested did not generally show elevated levels of lead, mercury, or cadmium and other problematic carcinogenics. Not all candies tested, however, did show elevated levels of arsenic. Josh?
So, Jeff, did the study suggest how much candy is acceptable? Because I know a lot of people, as you mentioned, you can't just have one.
You can't have one.
A handful or more.
Yeah, it did not. The study did not show that, Josh. And as somebody in the newsroom pointed out today, if you eat too much candy, diabetes may get you before the arsenic. So, as always, use moderation.
Well, now you got me rethinking all the candy I take in. All right, Jeff Patterson live in our newsroom. Thanks so much.
Well, complaints about trash service changes are ramping up across Manatee County.
Yeah, neighbors frustrated with the change say they're paying the same price for half the services, and it's causing issues every week. News Channel 8's Allison Henning is in Manatee County, where commissioners have been discussing those concerns today.
The county says these changes were meant to streamline waste collection while reducing costs, but residents say they have created problems that didn't exist before.
In neighborhoods across Manatee County, residents say overflowing trash bins and missed items are becoming routine.
It's a hot mess.
Now all they do is just empty the bins, and if anything's overflowing or anything like that, they just leave it. They don't care.
Last year, the county rolled out new, bigger 96-gallon bins, and in October, cut trash pickups down from 2 days a week to just one.
I'm sure for a lot of Manatee County residents, once a week is not enough because there's a lot of families who have extended families that live with them, grandkids, adult children. So I don't think it's a good thing.
For some, the issue goes beyond convenience.
These cans are for elderly people. Almost impossible.
All of these changes were part of an effort aimed at modernizing collection methods, cutting costs, improving worker safety, and streamlining waste collection. But as complaints pile up, Commissioner Bob McCann says the county may have missed the mark, as he hears problems surrounding everything from weekly collections to curbside bulk pickup, which now comes with a $59 fee.
The other problem we have is people have found gas stations, they have found schools, and they dump their garbage. Okay, and it's all because of the fact that we've got a one-size-fits-all program.
Commissioners directed staff to look into the possible cost of bringing back the prior services of twice-a-week pickup and bulk pickup. We expect to hear more on that in the next County Commission meeting. Reporting in Manatee County, Allison Henning, 8 on your side.